Hello, welcome back. So in this part, we will try to understand the analytical aspects of design of reinforced concrete beam. In the reinforced concrete beam, when we talk about the beam, the first beam or the basic beam that we try to understand is called singly reinforced beam. So till now, the beam section that I have shown you were of singly reinforced beam. Now, what is the meaning of singly reinforced beam? Well, you can see this is the analogy of singly reinforced beam. And in the singly reinforced beam, we provide reinforcement in the tension region. While in case of compression, we don't provide reinforcement and we assume that all the compression will be taken by concrete and tension will be taken by the steel. So in this type of beam, we provide reinforcement only on the one side, which is the tension side. On the compression side, we don't provide the reinforcement. So this is why this beam is called the singly reinforced beam. So below the neutral axis, generally it is tension zone, and above neutral axis, generally it is a compression zone. So it says the beam that is longitudinally reinforced only in tension zone. It is known as singly reinforced beam. Well, it says longitudinally reinforced. Now, what is the meaning of longitudinally reinforced? In this beam, you can see this is the length of beam. And you can see these reinforcement are placed along the length of beam. So along the length of beam, if we place the reinforcement, those reinforcement will be known as longitudinal reinforcement. In any beam, the reinforcement along the length of beam will be called longitudinal reinforcement. Similarly, perpendicular to this direction, perpendicular to the length, whether if we provide reinforcement along this direction or along this direction, the reinforcement will be called transverse reinforcement. So in the singly reinforced beam, we also provide transverse reinforcement in the form of rings, which is called stirrups, which is called the stirrups. So we will know more about the stirrups in the next lectures. So in the singly reinforced beam, the ultimate bending moment or maximum bending moment and the tension due to the bending are carried by the reinforcement, while the compression is carried by the concrete. As I said earlier, compression will be borne by the concrete and tension will be borne by the steel. Now, we have seen this section earlier also. Now, try to understand this section in context with the singly reinforced beam. So in the singly reinforced beam, these are the reinforcement that are placed in the tension region, and this hatched part of the beam is the concrete, which is placed above the neutral axis and it is taking the compression. So this is the actual part. Now this is the transformed part. So you can see here. So this part is active. All the hatch part in this is active, and this equivalent area is also active. So that is all why this is also hatched. So the area of this equivalent part will be m into AST. We have seen how do we find out this m into AST. B is the width of beam. D is the effective depth of the beam. And there is another parameter which is mentioned here, which is X. Now X is called the depth of neutral axis. This is depth of NA from the topmost fiber of the beam. Now the third diagram is about the stress diagram of the transformed section. So this is the transformed section and the stress diagram for it will be like this. Now why it is triangular? Because in the assumption we assume that there is a linear variation of the strain and stress. So that is why maximum stress will be at the top, where the top will be in direct contact with the load. So the point where load will be in the direct contact will be in the maximum stress. So that is why stress at this level is maximum, which is expressed as FCBC. And as we go down towards the neutral axis, the stress is decreasing. So at the neutral axis, stress is zero, and at the extreme fiber, topmost fiber, stress is equivalent to FCBC. Similarly, when we go down to the neutral axis, then we see that the stress is again increasing, and at the level of reinforcement, which is shown here in terms of the transformed form equivalent area of the concrete, at this level, the this is the stress level. So at this level, the stress is FST by M. So now we know how do this value arrived. FST by M. FST by M is the equivalent stress in the equivalent area. Okay. And now we know that stress variation above the neutral axis is linear. So that is why the stress forms as a triangular form. So you can see maximum is there, minimum is there, and variation is linear. So this is forming a triangle. So now if we try to find out where the stress will concentrate, so as this is a triangular form, stress will concentrate at x by 3 distance here. So maximum compressive force will be acting at x by 3 distance, which is represented as C. Similarly, the maximum tensile force will be at the level of reinforcement where this equivalent area is placed, and at this level the maximum force is represented as T, which is the tensile force. So the distance between C and T is represented as the value Z, and Z is called lever arm. Okay, so Z is called lever arm, and lever arm can be calculated as D minus x by 3. As you can see, this is the x by 3 distance, so D minus x by 3 is the Z value. So we will continue this discussion in the next part. Thank you.